Hello, my name is Esma Ali, and I'm in Group 8. Uh, for our midterm, we chose option 3, which was the SSH Authorized Keys Expiry Manager. It automatically prunes expired entries from authorized keys, writes changes atomically, and creates backups. So first things first is I'm going to go into my file. And also I have this kind of text file just kind of as a script that I wrote up earlier before I started this video. So things would just kind of move on a little bit quicker. So I'm going to get into our file and then just clear, oops, wrong area. Clear it up right here. Okay, so I'm going to clean up my old artifacts because I definitely did do tests previously, so I'm just cleaning up just quickly so that we can start. Now let's do this. So we're going to be fixing our config per user YAML. It shouldn't have changed, but just to double make sure that everything is the same. Here we go. And then we can also do a central config. Now this isn't necessarily necessary, but we can definitely do it here just to showcase. It's optional. Okay, now we're going to see the fresh fixtures with both future and expired lines. So the demo shows removals. So we're first going to be doing Alice. So let's do that. And then we can go through. These are the new fixtures. Okay, and now we're going to be doing Bob and his keys. So I made two kind of fixtures, one named Alice and one named Bob, just to kind of see two examples be made. Okay, and then this is for the centralized demo seeds, which we already did, so technically we're going to be using it. It is optional, technically it says optional, but since we did it, we're going to be putting it in so that things kind of line up. So for this case, it would also be Alice and Bob. This one's Bob. Okay, so now we're going to be going into the demo. Since we have cleared up everything and just fixed everything, so now we're back at square one, we can start doing the demo. So first of all, we're going to show the context and the config. So let me just go through that quickly. So here we have our repository root that we did. Okay, here are our files: git ignore, readme, config centralized, config per user, fixtures, logs, and the manage keys. So let's echo the config per user. Okay. Oops, not what I wanted to do. There we go. So here it shows what's in that file, which this is in the file because we just did that. We just inputted that into the file. Now we're going to show the contents of the fixtures, the before, basically. So here is the before for Alice. And now we're going to do the before for Bob. Let's just copy and paste it in. Okay, and here's the before for Bob. So as you can see, I have one key that will be removed for both. It even says like a little note right here where it says it will be removed. And the reason being is because it expires. So if things work properly, which it should, the only ones that would be kept would be the ones that say keep, which is 2, and then 1 would be removed, which would just be this line. This one would be removed. This one line would just be removed. And then for this one, for Bob, this one would be removed, and then this one would be kept, you know, supposedly if things work. So before we do anything, we're going to be doing a dry run, which doesn't write or like doesn't do any actual writing or changing of anything. So this is just to make sure that things are working before we actually do the real run or the real demo. So let's do that. So here it just kind of is also just confirming that it won't be writing anything. Okay, so here it is. It removed one expired entry from the Alice and then one expired entry from the Bob one, which that seems good. That means it's working. So now we're just going to echo it and show the new one. Confirmed unchanged after dry run, which is good. Let's see what happened. So as you can see, the file is the same. Nothing got removed because this was a dry run. So the past is still there. Now if this was an actual run, it would be removed, which now we're going to be doing the real run and showing the differences and backups that will be created. So let's actually do this now. Okay. Kind of trying to fly through this right now to quicken up the pace. Okay, so now this will be applying removals, as it says right here. This is the real run. So things, when we actually do show the after file for Alice and Bob, it should have removed the expired key. Okay, so now it removed an expired key from both. Kind of similar to the dry run, which is good. And now we're just going to put this here. Okay. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so now it's showing that it kind of just saved, it saved all the things that was meant to be saved. So this is the, I believe this is the one for Alice, and this is the Bob one. These are the two files that were tampered with. Now we're going to show the after files with the expired lines that are gone, hopefully. You know, if it actually worked, which it should. Okay, so now this is the Alice one, and as you can see, the removed file was removed. The removed key was removed. Expired key was removed, sorry. And only this kind of stays, which was just a note that I had just to keep track of things. Now let's see Bob and see what was removed for that one. And yes, Bob was also, his expired key was also removed. As you can see, only the note was left. Now we're going to be showing backups to show that we can still go back to what we had earlier before anything was removed. So the backups are still there. As you can see, it's right here. Let's just copy and paste this. Okay. I'm going to be checking on the Alice one. And right here we have the Alice one, and the removed one is back and still available. Now, if you wanted, you can definitely return back to the backup. You just have to kind of continue on code about the code on that. So now we're going to be doing the extra, producing a file that lists the exactly what was removed. So let's do that. I'm just going to do this. Okay, and then we're just going to copy and paste it all in. Now we're just going to echo it. Okay, removed keys. Okay. And here it shows the removed keys. So this one was the removed key. And then this one was the other one, I mean. So as you can see, this is the one that was removed from this one. it's an exact copy. And then when it comes to the Bob one, this is the exact one that was removed from the Bob one, which we can actually go back and see exactly the Bob one, which is right here, which is an exact match. So there you go. Just shows exactly what was removed from the files. And now that is basically the end of our demo. Now you can probably add more to this and make it more cleaner. This is kind of just a quick run through of our program. Thank you.